everybody, my name is Brett and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where today we are back with some more DLC content. Now unfortunately this one is paid for, however, if you're willing to shell out about $20, you can get these two packs right here on the screen. The Modern Architecture Pack and the Urban Promades Texture Pack. I'm just going to call them texture packs because I've been playing way too much Minecraft lately. But anyways, we're going to be getting right into this, and I want to waste none of your guys' time by showing you guys what exactly these two packs have to offer. And we're going to start right on the bottom right corner of this grid with our community service centers for the hospitals. Now I'm going to be going over the modern architecture packs first for this community centers, and then we're going to be moving on to the urban promenades right afterwards. So let's get right into it. The first one that you get is the modern medical clinic. Now, the modern medical clinic is similar to the, the small medical clinic, and it actually even has a similar shape, and with a bit of recolor magic, you can kind of get it to look like it. And I kind of like the idea of them both being one building, because if you move them together, I mean, it kind of looks like an off-branch of the building. However, you can upgrade it with, the things that actually the medical clinic had, because then there's the modern medical clinic, and then there's this one in the base game. Now, the base game one does have an extension wing, which acts as this building's additional clinic center. Now, the additional clinic center can just house more medical beds, just more patients in general, and of course, you can place them freely from what I can see. Oh, you can't. So that's definitely neat to keep in mind. So definitely keep that in mind when you're constructing this building, that you can't place the buildings off of the when they're locked to it. And then we have a specialized treatment wing, which adds in a nice, beautiful little bridge right here, which I absolutely do love. I really like the way that this building looks. Like these modern architecture buildings, they don't look hyper modern, which is good. That's always good for most buildings that are classified as modern, because typically in a city, this is what modern would be. Monotone colors with, just little splashes of color just to show what type of building it is. But however, if you go over to the main area right here, which is massive and also makes a ton of noise, this is the modern hospital, which actually looks incredibly similar to the normal hospital, if I can find it. Where is it? There it is. The modern hospital. Now, the modern hospital is actually much smaller than the regular hospital, and it actually houses, that's the catch right there. It houses less patients, which is definitely perfectly fine, but it does have a couple of neat little upgrades here. One being the medical center, which allows it to have some more patients. So in order to make this the equivalent of the modern hospital, I think you would just need that one upgrade to make it taller. Yeah, and immediately its baseline is more patients. And it actually does come with a helicopter depot, so you won't need to upgrade it with the helicopter depot. However, this one, even fully loaded, this one is cheaper than this one. So I guess if you do have some extra money to splurge, you could totally use this one. It actually houses half the amount of employees, but it has more patients. So it makes me wonder, what's the catch? I feel like it's not as efficient. I mean, the amount of vehicles it has, this one has 31, and then this one has 31 as well. They can definitely, I can see that they've probably been reskins of each other, but this one definitely seems to have more monotone colors and more dull colors, which is definitely good to see in a lot of cities. I don't like this building. I've never liked the hospital building, to be honest. It's been my least favorite. I've only ever placed it when I've actually needed to, and the only reason for it is because it just looks like there's too much going on. There's a balcony on the front, there's a bunch of colors, they're all neon colors, it's just whew, man, it just looks like a lot, and it looks like it was built in Minecraft, honestly, it looks like something that I could construct in Minecraft. But this one, it's sleek, it's modern, it has that nice urban flair to it, which allows it to fit in more even unmodern situations, just due to the fact that, it's due to the fact that it's just kind of there, you know? Like, it looks like it's a part of the landscape. This one looks like it was erected out of the ground in 5 minutes. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. But moving on, away from the hospitals, overall, I think that these are great assets. I think they're good things to put into the city. But moving on to urban Promades, which if you got this one, you can get the Urban Medical Center, which has a nice, beautiful little green rooftop and nice rooftop access with a balcony. Now, this one kind of looks like a dental clinic, I'm not going to lie, or it looks like a glasses store. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because that definitely isn't. But this one actually, fun fact, this one actually houses more patients for just a little bit more money than the hospital. And I think it doesn't even come with attractiveness, which I think is weird, because you'd expect urban Promade, like if this building was built in my town, I would expect there to be way more attraction to like my community in general from just having this. But I don't see any sort of buffs from these. Yeah, there actually isn't, which is really surprising to me, because you'd expect buildings like this to have some type of buff to them, but that's okay. Now, if you want extra, you can add in an extra roof, which adds in more space. It keeps the old balcony, which I guess is nice. Do see how sunlight could become an issue in the future, though. For those sitting here, I think you'd get minimal sunlight unless the sun is facing this way, which, as we probably know, if the building is facing the wrong way, you would never get sunlight in that corner. So that's just like a little blip that I have. But there are a lot of balconies, and then it removes the green space for another balcony. So I guess the urban Promades really is just to show like green architecture, which is definitely really nice. And I do really like the Urban Medical Center. I do think that it's more showboaty than the modern hospital, but that's okay, because that's what it's supposed to be. Because all the rest of the buildings, which we're going to make a detour right now, and we're actually going to go over to what the urban Promades look like. This is what you're paying for. This is what you're paying $8 for. And I'm by no means saying that that's a bad thing, because I think that these buildings look excellent, and they even have recolor support. So if I really want to, I can in fact go in and make this entire building gray, or I can make it entirely white, or I can make it any other color of the rainbow that your little heart desires, which is definitely really good. Because if you think of a stereotypical green city, you think of a lot of white, and you think of a lot of green, and you think of a lot of blue. So by being able to use mods to incorporate new DLC is definitely good, because a lot of communities, especially a lot of game developers who develop mods for their games, and then, or rather DLC for their games, they push them out, and then they don't have mod support for those DLCs, either ever, or it comes out later. So it's good that the Colossal Order and Paradox Interactive, both of those dev teams are working hard to make sure that we do have mod support for these buildings. So I'm glad that they do, and even this one, which I don't want to spoil it, but that one has recolor support as well. All of them do, which is fantastic to see that they do. And it's also the modders side as well. But focusing away from the modders side, we are going to take a look at the police stations now. Now, the police stations, you get, I'm pretty sure they should be over here. Yes. So here it is. Take a good look, because this apparently seems to be all you get. Oh wait, no, I lied. Urban Promades gives you this, the Urban Police Headquarters, which I think looks pretty nice, but does it look like a police headquarters? Not really. It kind of looks like an office building, but I do think that that's the style they're going for, so it's not like I'm going to hold them against it. One gripe that I do seem to have with the Urban Promades one is that there isn't enough parking. Most police stations would have more parking just due to the fact that there's police cars that they need to house. But I don't see any sort of lower entrance. There is, however, a helipad that we can add in, and there's even a garage extension. So there you go. I guess that removes my issues. The only thing that I do have with this is that it looks a little too thin. But then again, I mean, I think it's going off of the thickness of the parking lots. But if we could make those a little bit thicker, then I guess I'd be happy. But I do think that this looks really nice, and I do enjoy the fact that there is green architecture all over these buildings. It makes them just look really nice, and it was something that was really missing from City Skylines 1. A lot of it had to look really industrial, but I'm glad that they're going the green energy route, or not rather the green energy route, but just the green feel for City Skylines 2, which I'm really proud about. And then there's the Modern Police Station if you got the Modern Architecture DLC, which includes a station gate with a helipad, and then an investigating team building, which is an offshoot of it, and then we have a small jail, which is another offshoot of it. So fully loaded, this is what it looks like, and do I think it looks nice? Without a doubt, I do. These buildings can be role-played, I guess, as anything else. This kind of looks like, I wish we just got this as a basic police station instead of it having to be a part of this, because from what I can see, there is no small modern police station, which is something that I was a little bit disappointed about when I did originally buy the DLC, because I was super excited to look at it, and then it was just nothing, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's okay. I do think that these are super high quality mods, but let's move on to the firehouses next. Now, the firehouses, you get 3 of them, and from what I can see, there is one for urban... Wait, why can't I think of the word? Oh, urban Promades. And then there are 2 for modern architecture. So overall, do I think that the modern architecture ones are good? Or do I think these are better? I think that they look almost the exact same. Like, I honestly do think that they look great, without a doubt. Both of the packs look fantastic so far. And let's take a look at the community firehouse. Now, I like how they renamed them to be community firehouses, like they're part of a community, which is really nice to hear. And I like stuff like that. And what I also like about this is that it sort of looks like that these buildings, so let's just look at when it's fully loaded here. And I do want to try and make it. So it looks like we get a firehouse disaster facility, which looks great. Looks absolutely lovely and stunning. And it looks like you're supposed to actually place it over here instead. I guess it doesn't align, though. That's really making me upset. That's okay. And then there's a fire watchtower right here. This looks like a prison, and I'm not gonna say, like, that doesn't mean I think it's a bad thing, but I think it's a prison. Like, it just kind of looks like one, but that's fine. I do really like just the overall blockiness of the thing. Like, it just looks good. And then this one is sort of a similar deal. It comes with a helipad and then a larger fire engine hall, followed by, of course, a watchtower for fire. And it's just a larger one of this one, except this one does not have a helipad, which makes sense. But this one, can I see this being put into pretty much any city, no matter the style? Without a doubt, yes. I think that this looks great. I think it looks functional, and I think that it just overall really adds to the modern style that some people have been trying to go for. Because I know City Skylines devs, you guys really like to push that. And now with the urban Promades, there is nothing. I cannot see in any stretch of the imagination how a fire engine can exit through here and drive through here. This road definitely needs to be at least twice as wide, but I guess it's just me being nitpicky. And then there is the disaster response unit and then the training tower, which it's basically the same upgrades as the small community firehouse, except it is priced at 4 times the amount, and it houses more employees, way more employees, actually. Yeah, by a long shot, this thing is worth the price, I guess, to place in your city. It's definitely, I feel like it's the mid-range between this one. Never mind, this one is, the urban Promades, from what I can see, are just all way more expensive than the modern architecture packs, but that's, I guess that's fine. And now, let's move on to education. Education was a big thing in City Skylines 1, and it's even becoming a huge thing in City Skylines 2 with the release of urban Promades and modern architecture. We do have, first, starting off, the modern architecture packs, which comes loaded with a community elementary school and a modern high school. These are just the first couple of them, and do they look good? Without a doubt, yes. There is the mindfulness room, which helps regulate emotional stress after a heavy course load and improves the health of the students. And then we have an additional teaching building, which looks great. I like the college campus feel that it's going for. And I also do really like how this one connects into this one. I really do appreciate that. And then there's a student dormitory, which I'm very surprised by. It adds an extra capacity to the high school, which I'm very surprised about because, you typically wouldn't see dorms being put up in a high school, but that's just because I'm American, and I do not know if that's a real thing in real life. I do not know if people reside in the high school during teaching hours, but I did not know that, and that leads me into a whole new light of world. And then, of course, there is an extension wing for this one and a community playground, which looks absolutely fantastic. For a small elementary building, I absolutely love this. And it also adds in the 20-plus outdoor recreation buff, and you never have to. And, wow, this is really cheap. Only 16 grand, about 16 and a half grand. It has 8 employees in them, and it can house 450 students. Comparing that to the small elementary school, which holds, or rather can hold, if you really try hard enough, it can hold more than this building. But this one, overall, at a certain point, you kind of have to go for looks over money, and I do think that this really shows that well. There's just a lot going on here, but there's not enough to where it's an eyesore to look at. You have a couple fences, some nice, a nice urban architecture. Modern architecture isn't supposed to look invasive. It's supposed to work with nature, and I feel like that this kind of works with it, at least a little bit. Now, mentioning over to elementary schools, we have the one from the Urban Promades DLC, which adds in 2 of them. We have the Urban High School and then the Urban Elementary School. Now, what's kind of funny about this is the Urban Elementary School, from the get-go, has more capacity baseline than, isn't this neat? Now, this is something that I've actually never seen before, a rooftop playground. We have some nice tents here for people to relax in. And then we have this way up high. I really like that little, those little words there. I can imagine, like, if somebody's flying a plane over the city and then they see this from afar and they're just like, they post it on Reddit and they're just like, hey guys, look at this. I also do like how they're conscious about the fact that, yes, kids do go to this high school, or rather elementary school, and they made really high fences, which is very nice. Like, I think that's really thoughtful, because it shows that they really did care and put a lot of time and effort into modeling these buildings. Now, moving over to the Urban High School, we have a gym extension, and then we have an extension wing. It creates sort of a nice little U-shape, which definitely looks great. And when it's fully loaded, it houses about 1,600 students, which of course looks great and all. But where are the sports field, man? Where's the sports field? No, not really. Not a lot of high schools these days have sports fields, which is perfectly fine. I like the idea of the fact that there are bridges that go above the this little walkway right here, which is also a nice little detail as well. I can't get too close to the building or else it'll be super loud. But this definitely looks really nice, and I'm really glad that they went with this route of having more bridges. I know it's a very specific thing that I have, but bridges overall on any education building just looks great. My high school has one, and it's fantastic. Next we have, going back to modern architecture, we have a couple of options, which is the Modern Technical University, the Modern Community College, and the Modern University. This adds in, so the community college adds in the 3rd level of education, and then the university adds the 4th level, and so does the Modern Technical University. These ones have some pretty neat upgrades, and let's just look at what the Modern University looks like when we fully upgrade it, shall we? So I have to remove this road first, because it does look like this does require a decent amount of space. And then, so we add in the extension wing, a university library, which looks beautiful, and then an academy building. The only gripe I have against these is that you can't actually move the platforms outside of the building. You can see it. See, like, they don't have that, which is definitely a little annoying, because imagine how nice it would be to be able to place this onto, like, a distinct campus. And this one just kind of fits in with the Modern Technical University. You can see it. I mean, come on, just look at that. Now, upgrading this with an extension wing, another extension wing, a modern student plaza, which gets rid of huge amounts of parking, and then a technical academy building right here, which we're gonna have to remove way more space for this, which is crazy to think about. So we add in one of those, and then we add in a lecture hall. it kind of fits in, like, pretty neatly. It just kind of looks like they're all one building, which is definitely neat if you like your college campus vibes, because this is good. You gotta get onto this train while you still can, while it's ready to board some passengers, because look at this. This looks good. While they do look like prisons, I'm sure with a little bit of recolor, you can make this thing look pretty darn good. And just by giving it that nice little hue, it just made it look 10 times better, and I absolutely love it. Going over to the modern community college, we can add in some things like some nice dormitories, you know, about the basics. This one looks like it was stylized based off of Victorian architecture. It kind of looks like that, and there is a new sports field, which I'm just going to remove this road just so we can take a look at it. This looks beautiful. If only you could remove the buildings from the main building. If only you could place the sub-buildings away from the main building, because this would look amazing. It is a sports field. It looks awesome. Students are able to exercise and organize sport competitions here. I love the bleachers on this thing. It looks absolutely fan-flippin-tastic. And I honestly could not ask for a better one. And you can even recolor the track. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can do it. If you want purple with a little bit of effort, you can make a purple track. Or if you want whatever this is, or if you want red grass, or if you want funny colored thing. Oh wow, that looks ugly. Let's move away from that, and let's move over to the second part, which is the Grand City Plaza and the Modern Art Museum. This was shown in the trailer, and look at this. I can even pan my camera through this. The lots are so huge. This looks like an art museum. If I looked at it in any other way, I would be dumbfounded. And there's this little guy right here. I don't know what you are, but you're making me happy. This looks amazing. It provides 75 indoor recreation, which is definitely a new tab. I've never seen indoor recreation before. And then right next to it, we have the Grand City Plaza, which adds only 6 outdoor recreation. You expect something like this to have way more, but I guess not. And then right next to here, we have the Community City Park, which I'm pretty sure is from the Urban Promades DLC. Last I checked, no, it's not. It is from the Modern Architecture Pack. So all of these come from the Modern Architecture Pack. And then moving over to the Urban Promades, we have these buildings, which I showed you guys earlier. But we still have more. Whew! Man, was this a great deal of money to spend on the game. We have transportation, which definitely no. We first have our local bus station, which has upgrades with extra platforms, and then a bus service station right here, which you can place about 2 of them. So that's definitely nice. It looks very modern, very sleek. It kind of looks like more of an office building, but I feel like it fits into smaller towns. I did not like this building very much. I did not like how you either had this bus depot right here, this bus station, or this small bus station. These just look like too much. They look too busy. This one just looks a little bit more peaceful, and I really appreciate that, and I think it looks great. And now we have a local train station, which can be upgraded with extra platforms, a modern arc to it for the entrance, which gives it a nice modern flair, so we can go from old to new. And then we have an underground subway interface, and then some platform roofs. But what if this is not enough? What if you need more? Well, you can go with the modern metro station, which can be upgraded with extra platforms as well as an entrance roof, so people don't get wet when they're trying to walk inside. But what if that's still not enough? Well, that's where it comes into play, where you can have a central train station, which adds in just about everything from the get-go. And it can come with more underground subway interfaces, an elevated and concourse, which I think that I said that right, an elevated concourse, and then an office building, which not only provides staff and employment to your citizens, but it also provides more usage for one building, which I think looks great. And what if, bear with me here, that's still not enough? Well, you have the modern subway station, which can be upgraded with, again, some more subway platforms for the underground, and then a platform roof, which I really like these nice little jagged edges. It kind of just screams subway. I can't really put my finger on why, but I just really, really like the roof. So with that being said, everybody, this was the entirety of what you get for the DLC, which is priced at $7.99 each. In total, you're willing to spend about 25 bucks on this, and if you have the money, go ahead and spend it. Do I think it's worth it? Well, we're going to find out once we plop some of these service buildings down into Sonder County. So, I'll see you guys there. Right, here we back are in Sonder County. Now, there was a reason why I actually left this entire area open. That's because I want Vermont Springs to become part of the Urban Promades and Modern Architecture area, which I think we can do pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and design a nice, beautiful green road layout for this, and we're going to add this into Oxbow, because you know what? I think if any county deserves one thing, it's some green architecture, and it's right near the farms, too. So I think it'll be lovely. So let's get right into it so I don't waste any more of you guys' time. Was that a lot of effort or what? Oh my goodness gracious. And of course, work is never done. We still need to go in and add in some community parking here. Now, of course, what do I think, right? The Urban Promenades pack, overall, out of 10, I would rate it definitely a good 9.5 out of 10. For it being the first DLC that City Skylines released, City Skylines 2 has released, I'm gonna be more lenient, naturally enough, because of the fact that, you know, I'm not expecting this pack to be the beans, and it's not supposed to be the greatest thing of all time. But do I also think it's good? Yeah, without a doubt. Oh yeah, like, definitely, this is good. This pack was fun to work with, it's fun to create green architecture, and it contrasts so well with this nice old apartment building look feel. And it really just adds to Sonder County. Every county needs some green architecture, and I can't wait to see what else they're going to add with green architecture, because I'm super duper excited. Now, of course, I do need to leave off with a couple of things. First of all, do I think that there's enough content? Maybe if there was some power plants or something like that. That's just because I'm big on, like, energy districts, like, things like that, electricity, plumbing, water. Like, if there could be a modern water pumping station or a modern gas power plant, stuff like that. But I do think that those are pretty large buildings and it would take considerable amounts of time to create, so I perfectly understand the wariness of doing that. However, what do I think about this so far? I think it's great. I don't think they should change anything about it, and if anything, if they're going to add to it, add it in later. But for now, I think I'm perfectly content with creating my dystopian, modern, urban promenade cities, and I really do appreciate that. Well, you know what else I appreciate even more? You guys sticking around for this video. I really do appreciate you guys for watching, and if you did like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you want to see next, because by far, I want to hear your suggestions, I want to hear your feedback, and I want to hear what you have to say. You have a mouth, use it, and all of your opinions always matter, as long as they aren't, you know, those opinions. But, anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this on a positive note. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, love you all, and have a fantastic December 4th. Christmas is just around the corner, and maybe leave down in the comments below about what you asked for Christmas. I'd love to know. Alright. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.